Gen Z is a disgrace. They are an absolute and utter disgrace. I'm constantly hearing from parents who talk about their Gen Z kids, and it's like, holy cow, these kids are terrible. These kids are terrible. Even some parents who try to say, I love my kid. My kids are smart and this and that. And then the same parents will pop back up later on and like start complaining about all Gen Zers. It's like, bro, you can't have it both ways. All right. And start making certain comments about their kids that suggest that, things aren't so good in the neighborhood. I'm telling y'all, like, have you looked at Gen Z slangs? It's essentially Ebonics for white kids. Like, these people are so far gone, it's crazy. They are the sleeping and farting generation. All they do is sleep, eat, get drunk, smoke weed, play video games, play with themselves, and do it all again the next day. Okay? Oh, and fart. They fart and they fart loud, really, really loud. Okay? Loud, wet farts. These people are just so unbelievably terrible. I mean, it is a generation of degenerates, and they just won't stop. The truth is, even when Gen Z is paid fairly, they find ways to steal time, productivity, everything possible. I have one Gen Zer who's boasting in the comments. He wanted me to know that he's stealing from his employer right now, renting out his employer's tools on the weekends because he's in the trades. And I told him he'll go to prison. He doesn't give a damn. He may very well be listening right now. What a scumbag. What an absolute scumbag. I'm telling you, there was a Gen Zer a few months ago that said that he was working with another Gen Zer who had been stealing tools and renting those tools out. And he said that he wished he had thought of that. And I'm wondering if it's the same Gen Zer that is now copying the other Gen Zer that was stealing the tools and renting them out. And now he's also stealing the tools and renting them out. Guys, these are bad people, man. These are bad muffins, bad muffins. You cannot have these. You can't have them in society. Like they cannot be allowed to continue. Mm-mm, mm-mm. Can't. Something has to be done. Something has to be done, guys. All of these kids are acting like they grew up in the hood. Like the type of behavior that Gen Z is exhibiting is a type of behavior that you would see from the hood, basically fatherless homes. Children raised in fatherless homes. So, I mean, yeah, that's I guess that was what caused the hood. Bunch of children raised in fatherless homes led to that type of neighborhood. So yeah, I mean, I guess it does add up. But I mean, Gen Z, it's just bad. It's just really, really bad. It's just really bad. I can't believe these people. I was looking at a comment from one of my subscribers, and it helped to inspire me to make this video. I had been kicking around these ideas, and then boom, this just popped up. So Gen Z is passing away in poverty. A lot of them are, passing away in states of destitution. And he responded, "My son, 19, is a waste of oxygen. Damn. Don't get me wrong, I love him, but he is such a loser. I can't believe he is my son. He doesn't listen to anything. He does things like it's automation, and then expects me to cover for him. He doesn't go to school, he doesn't work, he doesn't do anything but use Snapchat and then hanging out in the streets all day long." This is unbelievable stuff, y'all. I told you about, I made a video about another father who said his Gen Z daughters were driving him crazy. So he basically just walked out. Bro just walked out of his marriage, walked out of their lives because he said he couldn't put up with it. It's not that he doesn't love his kids, but he couldn't put up with those girls anymore. You know, I was thinking to myself, man, you know what? I could adopt a kid. I could adopt a son, and like it's just 5 years. Like get a kid that's like 13 years old. That way I'll have some type of legacy. I'll have some type of family. And then I just look at the comments, and it's just like warnings, like because if you have kids with a woman, those kids are never really yours. The state can always take those kids, And of course, with adopted kids, you could also lose your adopted kids. I feel like it works out a bit better, you know. And if you adopt, I'm very old right now. I'm 41. I'll be 41 in just a few months. I'm not like an old man, but to be having kids at this age is like kind of rough. And I thought maybe I could have a, adopt a kid in a few years. And something I had been thinking about since I was in my 30s. And someone around the age of like 12, 13 years old. I think that's a good age for me because I'm kind of missed that entire segment of my life. And it's like, but when I just read these comments from these men, it's like, like you've learned your lesson. Like, have you learned your lesson yet? I've learned my lesson. Like, I'm not going out there getting married, but have you really learned your lesson, Angry? Have you really learned your lesson? You're always talking about Gen Z, and you want to go adopt a Gen Z or Angry? Are you really sure about that? Well, it could end up being a Gen Alpha. They're even worse than Gen Z. Are you insane? You know, I have a couple of them. Do you know how terrible they are? You really want to mess your life up? I mean, it will just be for a few years. It wouldn't be for a few years. All right. You'll be stuck with them for life. Okay. And all the damage that they will do over the course of that period of time, they're going to steal from you. All right. Like crackheads, they're going to steal from you. Okay. Like you really want to bring that kind of pain and suffering into your life. You really want to bring that stress into your life. Listen, bro, just play your video games and make your videos. All right. Play your video games and make your videos and eat healthy. Okay. Forget about kids. Okay. You've been warned. You've been told not to do this. I can't tell you what to do, but I can tell you don't don't adopt any kids. Don't have any kids. Stay the hell away from Gen Z, Gen Alpha, and poor Gen Beta. Leave them alone. All right. Leave them alone. Leave the love making and the reproductive segment to Chad and Tyrone. Okay. Because it's not for you. It's not for you. It wasn't for me. It's not for you. All right. And that's love. That's love right there. It's hard love. Like that's where I'm at right now, bro. That's where I'm at, y'all. That's where I'm at right now, y'all. Because I just can't. These kids are so horrible, and it's not like just one or two. It's the generation. I'm in just like utter disbelief. I can't, guys. I can't believe any of it. I mean, I know. I'm always making these videos. I mean, here's another article just released 3 days ago, guys. These articles are. This comes from Markets Today. Markets Today. What the hell? Oh no, not Markets Today. Yeah, this comes from Care. What's this? Care Doctor. What the hell is Care Doctor publishing an article about Gen Z? Oh, because they're bad for your health. Gen Z workers are unprofessional and employers don't want them. Guys, this is on a doctor website. This cannot be real. Gen Z workers are unprofessional. Each generation certainly has its own characteristics, from style to work ethic, life experience, habits, and even vocabulary. There are specific traits assigned to baby boomers, Gen X, millennials, and now Gen Z. A recent study conducted by ResumeBuilder.com shows that 40% of hiring managers are biased against Gen Z, and the reasons why may be quite surprising. So, 40% of managers over out of they actually polled 1,000 people back in 2022, I think it was, and they revealed that 40% of them revealed that they don't hire Gen Zers. 40%, and that was years ago. So, fast forward to 2024, it could be 50 or 60% by now. Okay? But almost half of all Gen Zers were not being given jobs back 2 years ago. 2 years ago. Gen Z, this guy's it's gotten so bad since then. But 2 years ago, they were already avoiding Gen Z. 40%. What do you think it's like in 2023? I mean, 2024. Fast forward. So who are Gen Z? Who are these scumbags? Gen Zers are those people born between 1997 and 2012. So as of 2027, they are between 11 and 27. Good for nothings. While Gen Z are known for many things, many call them the first digital natives in that they were raised using technology and conducted the majority of their lives, including shopping, dating, making friends, and even working online. Horrible people. Horrible people. Okay. So hiring managers aren't excited about Gen Z employees. So, however, while Gen Z might sound like the perfect employee as they know how to navigate the online world, are adaptable learners and technologically savvy, they're really not. It seems hiring managers are avoiding Gen Z workers. Resume Builder surveyed 1,000 hiring managers and found that 4 in 10 have age bias against Gen Z candidates. And like I said, this study is years old. It is years old at this point. So we don't know what the actual statistics are now. Okay. According to the survey, there are essentially 5 reasons why employers are hesitant to hire Gen Z workers. They don't have enough experience. They lack a professional attitude. Gen Z Gen Zers tend to job hop. They are unreliable, and they typically have a disappointing work ethic. A whopping 77. Jesus, guys, 77. Nah, this is crazy. A whopping. This was 2 years ago. A whopping 77% of hiring managers reported that Gen Z lacks Gen Z lack Gen Z's lack of professional experience is a big concern. Of course, every generation was young once and lacked experience, but it's different for Gen Z. See what I told you? Resume Builder Chief Career Advisor Stacy Heller explained much of this sentiment has been exacerbated by the challenges posed by the events of 2020, which has disrupted how entry level candidates learn how to be successful in the workplace. So Gen Z tends to have an unprofessional attitude, and maybe because they spent several of their formative years isolated during the events of 2020. But many managers have noted that Gen Zers have an unprofessional attitude. In fact, 58% of managers report that the lack of professionalism is why they avoid hiring Gen Z workers. It seems that the young adults simply don't know how to adopt a business like persona in the workplace. So it's not hard to adopt a business like persona in the workplace. Hello, good morning, everyone. Good morning, good morning. You sit down at your desk, you open up your start up your computer, you start getting to work. Okay, you know how to conduct yourself, you make general conversation, you understand you're in a place of work. So there's some conversations you won't bring to the workplace. It doesn't mean that you don't talk to your coworkers, but you have to remember they are not your friends. But again, you still learn how to navigate the office environment. I don't know. I will say it used to be much more chill when I was growing up. I grew up with Gen Xers. I worked with Gen Xers, so it was a lot more chill. You know, again, it's easy. It was a lot easier to work with Gen X. If they didn't like you, they'd just tell you they don't like you straight to your face. Guys, it's so insane. Like as I've gotten older now, I look back at, like, when I was younger, like some of the Gen Xers used to give me a hard time, and now I look back at those days favorite memorably. Like, man, they used to just talk crap to my face regularly and tell me exactly what they thought. Like, it's like you look back like, man, I really miss those types of people. I miss those people. I miss those people. Like Gen Z is so two faced. If Gen X didn't like you, they'd tell you they don't like you. They tell you they don't like you and don't come around here anymore. And don't get me, they weren't all good people. Like, there were some scummy people among Gen X, all right? But as a generation, you could work with them compared to this horrible cesspool of Gen Z. Gen Z are lunatics. These are lunatics. Who the hell let them out of the loony bin? Jesus, help us. All right. According to Fortune, 40% of baby boomers stayed with one employer for more than 20 years, but Gen Zers are not following their parents' example. That's understandable. They're not, look at what people are being paid. You have to job hop. The problem with Gen Z is they're doing it in China too, where they don't even hold a job. They just keep on leaving. They go to one job. They're like, yeah, I'm going to the next one, and then the next one, and the next one. The problem with doing that is that it makes it hard to specialize or become good at anything. It creates serious problems for the companies, because it costs a lot of money to train employees. So, you train an employee, and then they quit on you like 6 months later or 3 months. Like Gen Z will quit 3 months later. In fact, they'll quit what they will get a job and then leave after 1 week. Like these people have no chill, and forget about like giving like a 2 week notice. There's no 2 week notice with Gen Z. You're lucky if these people even come to. You're lucky if they even show up for work after they've been given the job. All right, and when I say show up, I don't mean show up on time. You're like lucky if they show up. Period. Like you give them the job, they're supposed to start the job June 25th. They show up July 13th. You're lucky that they showed up on July 13th. You're lucky they showed up at all, like ever. Like it's 3 p.m. and they've come in and they've popped in. Like you're lucky if you get even that from them. And then the thing is, like sometimes they're not even like there. You're like they'll pop up and you're like, okay, so you're gonna get some work done. Nah, bro, I left my headphones here. Wait, I didn't even know you ever. I didn't know you came. Yeah, yeah, I came in. I actually popped in like a while ago, but then like I just left. I didn't see you. Yeah, I was here for like 5 minutes left. Now I'm lying. I really was. I was just really walking around. I put my headphones down because I wanted to see what it looked like in here. So I put my headphones down and I left them here, and then I was too lazy to come back. So I'm just back to get my stuff and leave. But yeah, man, nice office, bro. Nice office. Yeah, I need to go smoke some weed anyway. You know, and I'm gassy as hell. I gotta go. Like I said, sleeping and farting generation. You know, sleeping and farting. They just want to go home, smoke weed, eat, sleep, and fart. They're always gassy, and they're always ripping. Loud, wet farts. Loud, wet farts. Oh my gosh, I don't know. So, a separate study noted that 83% of Gen Z workers consider themselves job hoppers. 83%, as they consider it a strategic way for workers to diversify their skill set, pursue new challenges, and seek environments that align with their values and ambitions. They're scumbags. However, 63% of hiring managers stated that this reality was a concern when considering hiring Gen Z employees. Yeah, because you can't trust them. Gen Z are not considered the most reliable generation. In addition to job hopping, Generation Z are not known for their reliability. Younger workers want options such as remote or hybrid work schedules, flexible hours, and vacation time, and generally a better work life balance than their Gen X parents had. While to many, this may seem like a positive mindset, to employers, it can be exceptionally frustrating. About 50% of managers said Gen Z's unreliability is a leading factor in why they don't want to hire them, right? In the same light, Gen Z are not known as hard workers. Of course, this is a generalization, and many of the next generation have a diligent work ethic, but as a stereotype, they simply don't have the professional dedication of previous generations. Many baby boomers and millennials alike have called out to Gen Z for being lazy at work. However, Gen Z claims they simply value their work life balance and are comfortable setting boundaries with employers to ensure they are not overworked. Nonetheless, 46% of managers worry about Gen Z's work ethic when choosing a candidate for a position. Guys, these people will not get jobs. They will not get jobs. Jesus. The concern among hiring managers about Gen Z workers could lead to trouble, but not only for those graduating and attempting to find employment, but for the economy as a whole. Soon enough, employers will absolutely have to hire Gen Zers as more and more baby boomers and Gen Xers retire. And some say that to ensure the workforce continues to run smoothly, older generations need to do their part in preparing Gen Z for the workforce. They're not going to work. They don't have the skill, they don't have the hard skills or the soft skills or the dedication or the motivation. Guys, do you know how much work I put in for you see this guys, YouTube is a massive like running a YouTube channel at this level. This is my full-time job, and you guys can see what it looks like to run a YouTube channel as a full-time job. Like they're like I have you guys in the comments like angry, where are the courses? Where are the courses? Where are the courses? And I'm like, I'm sorry. Because just to get the course websites back online, I have a I've had to go through teams of people building out the course business, right? That's it's so large. And then I have another business. I have another thing, that I'm working on for you guys, a membership service for you guys, which is insane. And there's so many bits and pieces in this business, and I have to constantly learn. I'm constantly learning, constantly learning, constantly learning. Like I have to study and go. This is how it is for a YouTuber, right? And it's like this is like I just literally marvel at the amount of how massive my business is just for me building this business, because I have to do so much work and I cannot get everything done that I need to get done. And even with contractors, because I do rely on contractors, it's insane. I have guys, like, many of you don't know about the things that happen behind the scenes. And this is like with all of us. We all have attorneys, like at least the smart ones. Like we all have attorneys. We all have attorneys that we have to go to deal with issues that arise on YouTube. I don't talk about it. I don't post about it. Most of the time, you guys will never hear about it. But we all have attorneys. It's stressful, and it's like we have to work so damn hard. And that's the reason why I share that with you, is because like that's like life. Like you're gonna be you're gonna have to spend a lot of your life learning. And in life is hell. There are going to be periods in life where periods of sickness, and even you're going to have to work through those periods of sickness. And a lot of you Gen Zers, Gen Xers reach out and let me know, like, for your example, Christina Applegate is there crying her eyes out because of her multiple sclerosis. And, a lot of Gen Xers reach out and they're like, listen, bro, I've got MS too. And I've got work to do. I've got children to raise. I'm this, like, and I've got to pay all of my bills and this and this. I don't have time for that. I don't have time for all of that. I've had lesions on my brain since 2015. I don't have time for all of that. All right. Like, this is just how it is. It's a hard knock life. It's a hard knock life. Guys, we're heading into some horrible times economically. Like, any idiot can see what's happening. And then it's amazing because then people act like, oh, Angry, you're such a genius. No, bro, you're an idiot. Like, the petrodollar is gone. You can see what's happening around the world. You're like basically crushing up copium and sniffing it at this point, right? To cope with what's happening, because you don't want to accept reality that everything is going to hell. All the warning signs, it's not warning signs, this is happening. Like, this is literally happening. It's not like, oh, it's a chance. It's like, bro, this is happening around us. They're selling off US bonds. Inflation, like you want, like, chicken nuggets are like $20 for 10. Like, you want a 10-piece, bro? Here, we got a 10-piece chicken nuggets from McDonald's. All right, that's only $20, not counting tax. And if you're gonna use DoorDash or Uber's, that's gonna add another. That's gonna be just $8, chief. $8, chief. You got that's and you know and we're doing and we that's with the that's with savings. That's with savings. Good job on getting Uber One, bro. Good job on getting Uber One. All right. The membership that you pay $100 a year for, which gets you discounts. So now you will only have to pay $8 to have your food delivered from McDonald's. That is literally two blocks away. Yeah. Like, this is America. This is the insanity of, guys. They're charging $2 as for a slice of cheese at McDonald's right now. $2 for a slice of cheese. If no one if you have no, that's the reason why I don't eat McDonald's, guys. It's happening everywhere. Everything is overinflated. $2 for a slice of cheese. Come on. Gen Z has no resilience. They're not going to adapt. If this is how they are, and they're guys, the oldest of the Gen Z are horrible. I had one idiot Gen Zer reach out and say that, 100 years ago, what this idiot 100 years ago, people didn't have to live with roommates that they didn't know. 100 years ago, guys, he said he was 26 years old. This is the typical Gen Zer. He's one of the oldest Gen Zers. These people will be 30 in 3 years. I was going to say 4. In 3 years, the oldest are 27. They will be 30 in 3 years. 3 years as a generation. Guys, they're going to be a bunch of nasty hippies in 10 years. All right. It won't take 10 years to get there. But within 10 years, those of them that are still around, they're going to be a bunch of dirty hippies laying all around, laying all over the place, stealing in large numbers. Okay. Creating every bit of havoc in society. Everyone's going to be absolutely frightened of them. Absolutely frightened of them. And of course, then there's Gen Alpha, the thug generation. Okay. They are going to be a large prison population since most of them are being raised in single mother households and extremely high rates of illiteracy. That's those are statistical significances which tell us that they're going to be in prison. 80% of all the people in prison, all the men in prison, come from fatherless homes. And then illiteracy is another big indicator if you're going to end up in prison or not. So they're going to be a large prison population. Many Gen Alphas will never work a normal job in their lives, like actually getting a normal job. Like, oh wow, have you ever, like, no, I've never worked in an office before. I've never done this. I can barely read or write, and I can't do math. I just can't do math. Like, that's Gen Alpha. Like, they are done. There's no hope for them as a generation. There's a few decent ones among Gen Alpha, but as a generation, they're completely cooked. They're completely cooked. They're over. They're finito. And Gen Z, they're gonna be a bunch of straight up hippies. They are the modern day hippie. And like I said, they're going to, like, when you look at what the hippies used to look like, they were homeless people. They are not hobos. Hobos used to have respect and dignity. Hobos would travel the country with little money, but they would go different places. They would, pick up jobs like, oh, can I mow your lawn? Can I clean your shoes or wash your car? And in exchange for a meal and maybe a couple of bucks or a couple of coins, you know? And that's how they would live. And they traveled, and there was a culture. And it was different. Gen Z are not hobos, all right? They're hippies. They're some real bums. Hobos were not bums. When you look back at it, some were, but most weren't. It was, they were just, it were people, they were people who were they were travelers. Gen Z are a bunch of bums, all right? Eat, sleep, drink, or get drunk, smoke weed, fart, play video games, play with themselves, and then do it all again the next day. Gen effing Z. Gen effing Z. By the way, guys, if you're enjoying the content on this channel and you want even more of this content, consider checking out the Men Walking Away channel, where I release daily videos. There's a link to the Men Walking Away channel description video. Go check it out. Subscribe to the channel. Enjoy the content. What do you guys think regarding this? Do you agree that Gen Z is a disgrace? Let me know your thoughts, and we'll talk about it in the comments. Like the video if you like it. Don't forget to subscribe. And if you like the video, share the video. And just remember that all roads lead to MWA, Men Walking Away, and cheers.